Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome back to another review. It is Tuesday, January 26th. Pretty wild day in the markets. IWM gapped up and then sold off all day. Was actually quite a bit weaker than SPY. As we can see, SPY did gap up all-time highs and then kind of ranged after that. Definitely no shortage of action. Let's take a look at a couple names here. So, sticking to my 4 symbol rule, but I did overtrade quite a bit. Just kind of getting into action. To start off the day, I saw some liquidity up here around 510. So I was looking to short the pops here with a flush to cover. Did exactly that, added to my position, which is exactly as planned. And then we started coming up into pre-market and into the open. And I just took a little bit off. Didn't like how it was kind of flagging here. Thought we could see a push up. As I mentioned, there was liquidity levels, so I should have had confidence to hold, but took it off there. And then right before the market, I took it off, and then we see an instant flush. So I would be covering into maybe VWAP, previous day close, and then probably somewhere over here. So yeah, I got stopped out for a small loss there. Then we come back up into this liquidity level. We push through, and then we reject this next liquidity level, which is actually quite a bit bigger at 520. And then we also got the supply zone I have marked here. So I take it short, get a quick wash almost instantly, cover a little bit into the first drop. It was a little bit quicker than I expected, so I just took a little bit off. Came right back up, and then we're throwing indecision with a little bit less buying power, so it gives me confirmation that buyers are dying down, and that's exactly what happened. So cover into that same level just in case it's a double bottom here, and then once again, and then kind of all the way down. I do end up chasing here. I was all out at this daily level, and then we come up and kind of reject the moving average on a little bit weaker buying volume, so I thought I could try a little small one. Got stopped out as soon as we get past that pivot high there. That was avoidable, not a great setup. And then we come into VWAP here, into the moving averages, into previous day high, into liquidity level. So this is a plus setup for me. I get short and realistically should be adding either on this trend break or on this second red candle. Unfortunately, I didn't add. But anyways, cover into low of day, and then into the next wash into 450, which had a pretty big liquidity level there on the bid. We get this climactic volume here, previous day close, and also off the daily, and then I actually started to go long. Didn't see it right away. I was actually looking at a couple of different charts, and then we came up, started throwing some indecision with a little bit of liquidity, as I mentioned, at that 450, which came back. So I took it long, and then stopped as soon as we broke 450. Happy with that trade. I'd take that over and over, and then it gets a little messy as we come up. Here, I try to get long again. So we have this kind of trend forming. This isn't not happy with this whatsoever. This is actually a potential short on a lower high, and then stop out as we break this pivot point here. Come back up, and now I'm looking for a short on this minor trend break. Pushes up, squeezes me through VWAP, and then this is the point where I start looking at it again. This is actually a long entry there as well. But we start coming back into this supply zone that I have here, and the whole dollar level and kind of the previous level we broke down from. So I get short ahead of 5, risking 506. There was a little bit of liquidity there, and then we start to break down. I short again as we break that level 490, which had a little bit of bids at it, and then cover into VWAP, cover into this moving average, and then try to reshort this pop, and then once again down here, and then tried a couple of really small size shorts here. This was on this climactic indecision doji, risking the top of the candle here. These are about 0.3 of an R, maybe less, just because the range is considerable and you can be risking potentially nothing. Similar kind of thing, we broke down through this flag. I was initially thinking long, which I definitely should have. As you can see right there, would have been a great long. But anyways, went short and then stopped out right away. Not happy with those whatsoever. ATOS, this is one of the uglier ones as well. So we're coming down here. We've set a kind of a channel basically. And then as we get to the top, we had a bunch of stuffs up here. So I ended up getting short as we kind of broke down on volume, covered into the daily level, into this kind of consolidation zone, and then covered as we broke up above VWAP. Happy with this cover. Potential long entry there as we break that channel. But I wait for the zones I'm looking for here and start the short again. This is a lower high, cover right away. As I covered, I saw some indecision, so I shorted, added again. Not a good add there, definitely avoidable. Stopped out as we get there and then stopped out high of day. If you take a look at it, that's actually where I should be shorting. We got a level right there. We got supply zone and then maybe potentially scaling into this high of day, pre-market high of day. So that should be a short right here. Probably a cover and then comes back up here. I reshort as we're, I'm just drawing random shit here. Reshort as we break down on volume, cover as we kind of break this pivot. So just freestyling here, no game plan whatsoever. And then as we get here, we have a little bit more of a defined trend, and now we've come off of a double top off that supply zone. So quite a bit better, and my entry is quite a bit cleaner here. So we fall, make a lower high, so a short again, and then cover into this level, daily level, and then into VWAP or into 340 level. And then, so yeah, that was a good short. And then it comes back up here, and I'm looking for this level once again to see if, we reject off this mirror level. That's exactly what happened. So I short again, and then I didn't like these bottom wicks here on volume getting bought off of VWAP, and I thought we could potentially squeeze, so I just took the rest of it off. And then what happens, we get a nice flush through. Would be covering into the daily, the moving average, the daily, and then another daily here. And then we have this nice wedge trend line break that I like below VWAP. So this would be a great short. Missed that one, unfortunately. And then we fall through, have a nice follow through flush, come back up, was looking for a short here into this moving average, into the consolidation. Instead, I ended up getting this essentially kind of a climactic reversal here, risking, I think it was 264. There was some bids at 265, almost got stopped out, and then came back up, and then added here. Took a little bit off, didn't like the price action. We couldn't break through 297, and it was just looking weak, so I took it off, and then at a little bit worse break even here. And then we get a huge flush through. So a couple of things I should be noticing here is this isn't a very clean setup. And look at this daily level. So right here would be a perfect level to be shorting off of. Can take a look at this kind of whole level and look into that first resistance, into the moving averages, previous day close, previous day high, and pre-market low here. So I missed that one. Beyond Meat, this one was terrible. As I mentioned, pretty rough day until GameStop popped up, and I'll show you guys in a second. But let's start one by one. So we get this climactic volume. First, Pepsi has a solid catalyst today. They partnered with PepsiCo for a plant fresh diet or something like that. So it is pretty solid catalyst. I took it short, accidentally double size here, so I took a little bit off right away, and then as we broke the high, I took the rest off. So decent setup, climactic volume. Would like to see this at a daily level. Nonetheless, I'll take that setup over. And then we get this kind of a trend line, which I should be shorting here, but I realized that, this is a strong stock. Maybe look to catch a pop here. Didn't have a great stop. I was looking at right here. For a 2-3 to 1 here to the previous high, and then as you get stopped out right away, and then what does it do? It works out perfectly. So too tight of a stop here, and not a great entry either. And then we come here. This was a hotkey error, so don't pay attention to that. I actually took a decent loss on this one, but yeah, that wasn't meant to be. And then, so this is actually, I'm happy with this entry. As you can see on the daily here, this 197.20 level, it was a previous resistance 1, 2, 3 times. So I was looking to see if it would hold. We kind of come down here, get below it, come back up, and then as we're coming back down, we got sold off and then started coming back up. And as soon as it started coming back up, that's when I took it. into the close of the candle, and then had a nice follow through, covered, and that was actually all out there into this previous consolidation zone. And then this is where it gets sloppy. Try to do the exact same thing here, so we get this reversal doji on some decent well, not great volume, but a little bit higher than we've seen. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe the moving average is going to hold. So I get long, essentially exact same thing I did there, looking for a move up, and then as we break that body, I just get out. So smaller. I was going smaller size just because the range here is so large, and as you can see, we had a 198 to. It's not a big move, but it could easily have some slippage. And then similar kind of thing I tried. We have this indecision doji kind of making a lower high, so I thought I'd get another one. So completely out of my playbook. I never trade like this. Caught one luckily, but that was off the daily. The rest is just poor trading. And then we have this range I kind of drew here. Try to short as we come up into the top of the range, stopped out, top of the range held, could have covered here, and then same thing here, and then now we get to the bottom of the range, so I'm looking for a long push up, but we're getting close to the end of the day, so didn't get much movement there. So overall, this is just poor trading. Had one setup actually, that was my playbook right here, as I mentioned, and I would still take that. I'm happy with that trade. So I was down quite decently actually on the day until GameStop popped up, and although this might not seem like a big move, this is about 10% drop here. And I was risking 150, so just to give you a perspective, the risk was right there off of a large offer on level 2. So got a really nice move here. Once again, I was taking smaller size here just because we did see some major rips, and as you can see here, this was what I was kind of afraid of. Once that 150 broke, it spiked up $10. So the slippage could be pretty serious there. So I was just taking small size, and even with that small size, I made back all my losses on the day plus some. So it was a nice move here. Came back up, re-shorted that 150 level, covered into the close, and then called it a day. As you can see, that's the smart decision just because we did see continued push on this huge short float. I'm sure you guys are watching it. GameStop's the talk of the town right now. 95% institutional ownership and 140+% short float. Obviously going to be a pretty scary mover. So yeah, that was my day today. Couple things I need to focus on is just staying with my playbook setups and validating with level 2 as well as support resistance levels, as that's what's been working. Things I need to avoid is just non-playbook setups, getting caught up and mentally drained with just hitting over and over on the front side. Much easier to take these high probability setups and not get caught up in something I'm not good at. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Cheers.